What's up, guys? ItsADemi, and I am here once more with your future king. Today we're going to do something a little bit different. This is going to be the first part in a series of interviews with your future king to give you guys an idea of how he's going to become your future king. Alright, so first, let's start off with the question that, we've had answered in a couple other videos, but it hasn't really been very in-depth. But without taking too much time or going too in-depth, what is Utopia?
Alright, well, Utopia will be the entirety of the world united as individuals. We won't be a group over here hating this group over here. We'll all just be normal, regular dudes united on the planet.
Rivaling countries. It'll be two countries in the entire world.
Yeah.
Utopia and Canada. Alright, so Utopia, your idea for Utopia is supposed to unite the entire world. For one, right now, probably the biggest complication with that is money. There's so many different currencies and shit. How do you plan on consolidating that all into one world currency, which the Bible states is a sign of the end times?
Yeah. Well, I plan on just getting rid of currency as a physical thing anyways, and just giving, as some people might know, your eyeballs are more unique to you than your fingerprints are, and an iris scanner will be set up like a cash register, and you just scan it, and instead of paying money, you get a few points off of your credits or whatever, and your credits will just be for luxury shit.
So basically it's like having 666 on your forehead or right hand?
Sort of. Yeah, I've gotten a lot of those comparisons.
So instead of currency, how do you plan on, there will still be jobs, obviously, otherwise shit won't get done. So how do people earn their credits? How do people get this form of currency in a manner of speaking?
Everyone will get the exact same amount of credits every month, as long as they're doing their job. If they decide they don't want to do any jobs and be useful for Utopia, then they can just leave. Now, after a certain point, you're allowed to retire, and then you can go do whatever the fuck you want. And
you still get a set number of credits every month?
Yeah.
For like a retirement fund or whatever.
So there are some people like my dad who would rather live in the fucking woods.
Right.
So if you don't want to be part of Utopia, but you don't necessarily want to be banished either, you just because I will have rural areas where you can just go and do whatever, but or the laws of Utopia will still apply. Basically, they won't get their credits, and they'll have to live off of the land themselves, but they won't be banished.
They're still doing work for Utopia because they're cultivating the land, doing things like that, but instead of using credits, they're bartering for goods.
Well, I'll have jobs open for people to go out, and all their job will be is to make certain areas look nice, and just grow plants and keep the grass cut and stuff. Like this neighborhood, I'm going to let all the trees grow up and just fill this place up with forest, but I'm going to keep the houses, and I'm going to make them better and nicer, and then have, not as many, but a few of them spread out here and there in the woods, so people can just keep the woods clean and just live and rent whatever house they feel like living in the rural areas that aren't citadels.
Alright, now let's talk about the job system specifically. Is it going to be kind of like today where you go out, apply for a job, and if you get the job, you get the job. If not, try again with somewhere else? Or how's the job system going to work?
You won't be applying at all. What will happen is, when you're of age to start getting educated, you'll go to school like you do now, but it'll be much, much better schools, because the teachers will be better trained, and they'll be hand-picked people who are actually good at what they're doing. And they'll teach you all the basics and see what you're more inclined to be able to do. Like, if you seem like a more intelligent person, and your mindset is right for it, you might end up in the politic realm or whatever. It's just, you'll be evaluated, and whatever you seem the best fit for is where you'll end up working.
So basically it's like you take an aptitude test and get put with the job you're most suited for.
Yeah, exactly. you'll have a few options,
Right.
and you might get to choose, unless we really need you because you're specifically you're like the absolute best we could possibly get for
Top
this job.
pick for this job.
Yeah, then we might just
put
put you.
do this job.
Yeah, and then
the
you
cure
might
for
not
cancer
get it.
is locked away in your brain. You need this job.
Exactly. If you're the best for this job, then you might just end up in that job and you might not get a choice. But
so basically, equal opportunity for everyone, but the ones who are, you won't have to worry about, like in a fast food place, having to work with someone who just absolutely doesn't know shit, dumb as fuck, can't learn, don't ask questions.
If they're not even capable of working at fast food, then they're probably getting banished.
Takes out of Canada. But I mean, basically, you won't have to worry about working with someone who's just not going to do shit. I mean, you'll still have the lazy people, of course, but if they lose their job and that's the only one they were suited for, then, well, they can't do anything but live off the land or go to Canada.
Yeah.
Good luck finding a job in Canada, because they're going to be outsourcing to Utopia. Save them money, because it don't cost them money.
If you're not the brightest person, don't worry. You're not going to get banished. You can still do physical labor. And if you're physically disabled and you're stupid, sorry, but you can't be in Utopia.
I mean, you can, but you're going to have to live off the land.
Someone's going to have to take care of you, basically. If you have someone who's willing to sacrifice a little bit of their monthly credits, their luxury credits, and Utopia will still provide basic food for you, but you won't be fucking making any money because you're not useful. Right. I won't necessarily banish you.
Basically, you won't have money for yourself, but if someone's willing to be kind, like parents or something, they can keep you up for, basically like today, parents can keep you up for as long as they want to.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if you got a job or not. Now, if you got some dick parents like mine, then no, you're going to get your ass up and do a job. But, I mean, there's always someone out there who is kind enough to take care of you, even if you have to go to a different part of Utopia, like Africa.
Yeah.
Or some shit like that, rather than... Now, Utopia isn't going to expand just the U.S., so I'm going to try to keep this from focusing just on the U.S., even though that's where we are right now, but I also want my viewers in other parts of the world, because I'm pretty sure I have a couple in Australia, but things like that, I want to try and keep it from being U.S. centralized, because Utopia is going to expand the entire world except for Canada.
And it's actually saving U.S. for last. So.
Now, Alaska, as part of the U.S. territory, is that going to still be part of Utopia, or are you going to consolidate that with Canada?
I'm going to add it to Canada because I don't want to have people trying to cut through Canada to get to Alaska. Now, a lot of people like the Alaskan wilderness and such, so I'm little kind of on it. Like, I don't know if I want to.
For me, I lived in Alaska for 5 years. It was fucking epic. I love Alaska.
A lot of people like the way Alaska looks, and I'm trying to get the rest of the world to be nice and like that. I might change my mind and add Canada to Utopia and just turn Antarctica into the banishment land.
Oh fuck!
You just go to the big old giant ice block.
Greenland.
Greenland.
Yeah, keep Antarctica and North Pole for exploration and resource scavenging and whatnot. But, I mean, no one would live there, obviously, but for resources and shit, you could use North Pole and Antarctica and shit. Greenland is pretty much useless, completely ice-covered. I mean, it's not too cold to live there, but it's not great.
It's no Alaska. It's the same as Alaska, but it's not
pretty much Canada, but it's not as French.
It's not as French. Oh, shit.
But let's see. Now let's talk about the Coliseum. I've been wanting to know about this for a while. Ever since you told me we should do this video, I've been wanting to know about this Coliseum, what it all entails, where it will be located. Let's start with the basics. Where's it going to be located, and around what time period after the start of Utopia will it be constructed?
Alright, there won't just be one Coliseum. There'll be a Coliseum for every citadel. And not every continent will have its own citadel.
Okay.
And there might be a couple, depending on how big the continent is and how much I'm going to leave rural and forested. And citadels will be going way up into the sky and way down underground to make the most use out of our space while still keeping as much nature as possible. so we're not spread
so
out.
rather than being wide, it'll be more tall, like
Yeah.
a tower, more than really a citadel in its truest form.
It will be a citadel. It'll just be a really tall citadel. It'll be the size of a small city, but it'll be going up and up and up. So instead of having a bunch of skyscrapers all over the place, it'll have one central building thing.
One central tower with a small village or some shit around it for the people who want to live there. And then, of course, the Colosseum will be close by the citadel, I assume.
It'll probably be incorporated into the citadel somewhere. Each citadel will have a slightly different architecture depending on where they're at. And
Right. More of a classical architecture depending on their location. Like, Japanese citadel will look more like the pagoda houses, but really fucking tall. While Alaskan citadel would be basically just a giant igloo.
If anybody's ever watched Blue Exorcist, that magical school in the background, when they're showing up at the very beginning, you see that huge school that they all go to. That's going to be kind of what a citadel's going to look like, except it's going to be a lot bit bigger than that. Oh, but back to the Colosseum. Colosseums will be where anyone who wants to do combat in any form can go and fight things. Now, I'll have androids set up for you to fight.
Even if there aren't people who are willing to, even if there's only one person who just wants to go in one day and fight, you'll have androids and wild beasts or something. Something for them.
Something. You can go to a citadel, and if you have a dispute with someone, not a Coliseum, if you have a dispute with someone and you don't want it solved by the judges and they'll have set up
like a civil suit, something like that.
Then you can choose, if both parties are willing, you can choose to fight to whatever whatever you decide on. Like, you can fight to the death if you want, or you don't have to. You can just fist fight.
Fight for credits, or fight for luxury credits, or basically as long as both parties are in agreement. One party, the losing party, basically it's a bet between two people on who would win the fight.
Yeah, basically. And of course there can be side bets and stuff between other people, but it's gonna be completely up to you what you do in the Coliseum and how you fight and whatever you do. If you want to use swords or just bare hands, if you want to use guns, don't matter. The Coliseum will be there for that. It'll also be a place where we punish criminals who have. Most people who end up in the fighting in the Coliseum for criminal will just be someone who committed murder. That's probably the only thing that will get you in the Coliseum.
Because, I mean, theft, that's kind of a very, very, very minor crime, unless you ended up killing someone while you were stealing from them, but then that's murder, and you're going to end up
Hopefully there won't be that much theft because everybody will have the same resources.
There shouldn't be any theft, except for maybe your gravity training.
And if someone's super greedy and they're trying to take other people's shit, then they'll probably end up getting banished. They might, if they really piss me off, end up in the Coliseum, but they probably just end up
depending on what they stole.
Getting banished, yeah.
Depending on what they stole and how long they've been getting away with it. Alright, so the Colosseum, let's go with the levels of the Colosseum. Like, you just want to go and fight. What's probably the first thing to test how strong you are? Because, I mean, you can't just go in and immediately start fighting an android that's pretty fucking strong with no chance of fucking winning. How are you going to gauge their strength before they start the Colosseum? Like, for example, you go in, sign up for a fight. Maybe it's not a civil dispute. You just want to fight something. So you go in, sign up for a fight. You just immediately get thrown into the arena, or a couple days to gather spectators, a couple days to test their aptitude in fighting, and a couple days for recuperation after that, before they actually go in for the fight. And you can't really give them a fight before the fight, because then they're getting what they want. They're fighting, no one's watching. Well, now you know how strong they are, just in case they want to come back and fight one day, but...
Yeah. Most people... a lot of people... Well, not... Words. I'll be monitoring everyone. Everyone's health, mental stability, and how much they work out. And everybody's going to have access to 5 times gravity. And if there's a certain person is using the full 5 times, they might get a chance to go up and use the 10 or whatever. And we'll know if every gravity chamber that gets activated, we'll know that it's been activated and at what level and for how long. And we'll be able to test your body mass index, see how strong you are just by looking at your physical form. maybe I'll have you do a spar with a sparring robot that's not as advanced as a high gravity combat droid.
Just a sparring robot that's pretty much indestructible, so it can't be destroyed, but it'll register your strength and whatnot with your strikes.
Keep up. It'll measure your speed and your accuracy and everything.
Basically, it'll completely analyze you and then
it'll analyze your combat
move itself
skills.
up to your level. And when it moves itself up to your level, then you just analyze the robot to find out what that person's level was.
Yeah, it'll keep up with you until it matches you completely, and then it won't go past you because it's not there to kill you. It's just there to
It'll
test
just
you.
constantly keep matching you, and the only way you're going to win the sparring match is by going a little bit harder, a little bit stronger until you get to your peak, and then the android is at your peak, and then it's just pretty much a constant battle back and forth.
Yeah.
And once you see that it's not really getting anywhere, and the robot's not getting any stronger, then you can stop the sparring match and be like, okay, this is your max.
You found where you're at right now, and then you can go and fight.
And then basically, you just set up the tournament, or the arena fight, as
at that
against whatever they'd be best suited for.
Yeah.
At that level. So, what are we at right now?
16.
16? Alright, well, it looks like that's all the time we got for right now. We'll be back with more from YourFutureKing, talking more about Utopia. There might be some extra videos uploaded every now and then between the Utopia thing, but this is pretty much what I'm going to be focusing on for the next little bit until we get a good list of some other videos we can make. That way we're not just sitting around, what video can we do? This is pretty much our go-to video. This is going to be our go-to series for when we really don't have anything else to do. Not to say that this is less important than anything else, but this is the broadest and most expansive topic that we can talk about at the moment, and pretty much never run out of shit to talk about for it, and never run out of questions for it. So we're going to pretty much be coming back to this quite often. Hopefully we can make this a weekly thing. Next week, unless I get some videos stocked up, I'm probably not going to be able to upload anything next week. YourFutureKing will be going away for the week to take care of some personal issues.
Got some things to do.
So, yeah, that's pretty much it for today. Any last words?
420 Blaziken.
Always. And, as always, laughter does good like a medicine, so keep watching, keep laughing, and keep living. Jump out the neck.